Step 4. Understanding. Using your vision as a background thought, you need to think of a range of action possibilities that might achieve your vision. Consider the things that will work for your target audience. What they like, what are their needs, what things do they already have, what are their abilities. You also need to think about the sustainability of this action. How might your action continue once you stop pushing for it? What is going to have to change for your actions to be sustainable? Within ourselves, the people around us, our school, our community, our society. What needs to change? Rules, attitudes, values, effort, commitment, circumstances, etc. There are many ways that your issue could be tackled. Some will be more realistic than others, but all are still possibilities. Thinking about my target audience of 18 to 24-year-olds and their needs, I came up with this list of action possibilities.
Even if I'm a little late to see you fall, well, it's 2 steps closer to everything being alright.
There are a few things that would have to change for my action to be able to overcome the barriers present within my target group and for my action to be sustainable. Within myself, it would have to be judgment of others and their lack of physical activity. I have grown up playing sport and can't imagine life without it, so sometimes it's a struggle to understand those who hate sport or just don't have any desire to get involved. By changing this within myself, it will help me gain a deeper understanding of others and where they are coming from. It also may help me gain insight to know in which ways I need to target my issue. There are basically 2 groups of people around, those that do activity and those that don't. The ones that do activity probably need to change in a similar way to me. They also need to become more supportive of others in their level of activity they are capable of, and make sure they are always encouraging. The people who aren't active need to change a few things to help achieve this vision. They need to start getting some internal motivation and change their attitude towards activity. They need to make physical activity a higher priority in their lives and try to think about all the ways they could change things in their lives so they become more active. Could be biking to work, going for a walk at lunchtime, joining a social sports team, or making a rule that the amount of time they spent on Facebook a day was the amount of time they had to be physically active. As a society, we need to make sure that being physically active does not seem like a daunting thing that is unreachable by some people. There are a few things we could change to make it seem like it's a fun and great thing to get involved in. We need to change advertising away from the unrealistic models who are photoshopped within an inch of their lives. This could potentially decrease some of the mental health problems we have these days through people not being bombarded with these images as much. It could also take away the focus of doing physical activity to look good, and instead doing it to be and feel healthy. If the motivation to do physical activity was more based on health benefits rather than losing weight and looking good, hopefully it could change the whole culture around exercise. People need to get it into their heads that being physically active is crucial for their health, will decrease sickness, increase healing time, and just in general make them feel way better, stronger, and able to do more things. We need to think about health campaigns and get them targeted in the right way. The government also needs to think about the way we're investing our money. Is it better to put money into exercise promotion as a preventative idea, or put money into healthcare 50 years later trying to fix what has gone wrong? From a community level, then working up to a national scale, we need to somehow make physical activity as compulsory and as accessible as we possibly can. The main thing that needs to happen for sustainability of the population being physically active is attitude and culture. If everybody had a positive attitude towards being active at any level, slowly it would change our culture and being active would be ingrained in each of us. What if instead of getting drunk on a Saturday night, people started having sports nights? Or instead of having after-work drinks at the pub, everyone went and played touch at the beach? Imagine what 100% physically active New Zealand would look like, and imagine what kind of difference it would make not only to our young people, but to all generations.